Amos, Jonah. Jonah, chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. Babasahin ko po. Walang aking salamin. Jonah, chapter 1, verse 1. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. Ay, boy, sa dito manalangin, mapagpalang Diyos, dakilang Ama. Salamat po Panginoon sa salita ng pag-aaralan sa oras po na ito. Pagpalain niyo nga po ito, Ama. Ito po'y magbigay muli sa amin ng mga hamon, ng mga halaman, ng wisdom ng Panginoon. Pagpalain niyo rin po Panginoon ng po mga anak sa aming pag-aaral. Ay magkaroon ito po Panginoon po sa kanilang mga puso. Magkaroon Panginoon po ang Ama na ito po yung mapagulay-gulayan at kapulutan ng aming aral. Naway kayo po Panginoon siyang kita sa aming paglalagnaan at tawag rin po Panginoon sa mga karamihan. Ito ginawa Panginoon na kayo pong ingat sa inyong mga lingkod, sa inyong mga anak at sa inyong mga iglesia. Sa tayong kabilang pangalan ng aming Panginoon Isus sa paglalagnaan. Ang title po ng message, the title of the message this afternoon is Following God's Direction. Following God's Direction. Ito po ay napaka-importante sa isang Kristiyano, lalong-lalo na sa isang lingkod ng Diyos, kung paano ay merong binibigay ng instruction ng Panginoon at hindi nagtatapos doon sa pagbibigay ng instruction ng Panginoon, kundi yung pagsunod na gagawin ng isang Kristiyano o ng isang lingkod ng Panginoon. So, nais ko pong kilalanin po muna natin si Jonah. May mga pagkakataon na nagtatanong po si Pastor, sino ba yung propeta na nanggaling ng Galilee? At isa lamang po naka-record sa Bible ng propeta na nanggaling ng Galilee, and that is Jonah. Kasi po si Jonah, he was born in Gath-hepher, in Galilee. The boy of the tribe of Zebulun, in Northern Kingdom. He ministered during the reign of King Jeroboam II. And then according to the Bible, he was the son of Amittai. And our Lord Jesus Christ authenticated the story of Jonah in Matthew chapter 12 verses 39 to 41, when the scribes and Pharisees asked questions on our Lord Jesus Christ about the resurrection. So, ang binigay pong halimbawa ng ating Panginoon sa Kristo ay si Jonah. Kung saan si Jonah ay 3 days and 3 nights doon sa fish belly. Ganun na rin po ng ating nakapagligtas ang ating Panginoon sa Kristo ay 3 days and 3 nights din po siya na nakalibing. Diba? Bago po yung kanyang resurrection. So, yan po yung ginawang authentication ng ating Panginoon sa Kristo regarding the story of Jonah. And the book of Jonah is a straightforward biblical historical account. Okay. Actually, si Jonah, siya po ay tinatawag na the wayward prophet. Because instead of following the command of God, the instruction of God, for Jonah to go to Nineveh, hindi po siya pumunta. But instead, parang ano po yan umoo, but later on, hindi naman sumunod. Diba? So instead of going to Nineveh, he went down to Joppa to take a fare going to Tarshish, which Tarshish is from the west, and Tarshish is Spain in our present time. So instead of going to Syria, Jonah went to Spain. So, yun po si Jonah. And then, let's also study that the book of Jonah has account of miracles that God did. No? Marami po mga milagro na mababasa po natin sa book of Jonah. Just like the calming of the sea, no? Before the crew lost their lives. Because of the sin of Jonah, that instead of following or obeying the command of God, of going to Nineveh to preach there, because the iniquity, the wickedness of the Ninevites is exceeding before God, but Jonah refused to go there, but instead went to Tarshish. And on his way to Tarshish, while boarding a ship, they have experienced typhoon. Nagkaroon po ng matinding bagyo, nagkaroon po ng matinding pagtaas ng mga alon at malakas na hangin na nagkakagulo na lahat ng mga sakay ng barko maliban kay Jonah, because Jonah is fast asleep. And then this group, these people, they did everything in their power, they did everything they can, just like unloading the things to lighten up the ship. Pero hindi pa rin po yun naging paraan para sila maligtas. And then, one of the crew, hinanap niya lahat because he gave instructions that everyone should pray to their God. So, nung ang bawat isa po ay nananalangin na, si Jonah ay natutulog at napakasarap ng tulog. Kaya po siya ginising. Ginising po siya at sinabihan po siya mismo ng isang unbeliever that you have to pray to your God kasi we are experiencing trouble. See? So, after that account na nangyayari, they cast lots. And the lot fell to Jonah. At doon nila nalaman kung paano dinisobey ni Jonah ang Panginoon. At napakatindi ng conversion na nangyari sa mga taong ito. Because after that, kahit na umamin na si Jonah na siya yung dahilan, kahit na gusto na ni Jonah na, sige, ihagis niyo na ako sa dagat para maging matahimik na kayo. Ayaw pa rin po nilang gawin yun. Dahil natatakot sila na the blood of Jonah, if he will die, will fall into their hands. Na masisisi sila sa magiging kamatayan ni Jonah. So instead, they did again everything they can to lighten up the ship. But still, hindi po nagbago yung weather. Hindi po nagbago yung bagyo. Hindi po nagbago yung panahon. So, they have no recourse but to follow yung sinasabi ni Jonah na kailangan siyang ihagis nila. And they did. And it is a miracle that the sea, the weather, milagro po yan. Kasi wala pong ibang makakapagawa na kundi ang Diyos lang. Wala pong ibang makakagawa na. Kaya nga, it is a miracle. So, no matter how much effort on human intervention would do, God's plan will always be followed. No? So, kahit na po anong gawin ng isang tao, kung yan ay tinakda ng Diyos at dinikri ng Panginoon, yan po ay mangyayari. Because it will be purposed to happen. God purposed it to happen, and it will happen. So no matter what human intervention or human power would do, hindi po kakayanin yan at hindi po mangyayari. Kaya nga po, makita po natin the miracles of God in this account. And then the same thing is the second miracle is the miracle of the provision of the great fish. No? Biglang-bigla, meron pong isang napakalaking isda doon. It is a whale actually, no? That swallowed up Jonah. And it's also another miracle, no? The scourging of Jonah on land. So, in the life of a Christian, in the life of a servant of God, there is no such thing as chance or accident. Tatandaan po natin yan. In the life of a Christian, or in the life of the servant of God, there is no such thing as chance or accident. Lahat po yan ay nakatikri ng Panginoon. Lahat po yan ay pinurpose ng Panginoon. Kaya po kung ano man po yung naranasan nating hirap, kung ano man po yung naranasan nating trouble, kung ano man po yung pinagdadaanan natin bilang mga Kristyano, sinasabi ng Biblia, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. So it's not a chance, it's not an accident na nangyari po yan. Ngayon po, kung ano man po yung pinagdadaanan ng ating church, kung ano man po pinagdadaanan ng mga Kristiyano individually, and as a church collectively, may purpose po ang Panginoon siya. At hindi po yan aksidente, at hindi po yan chance. Kaya nga po, kung kinakailangan, sabi ng Apostle Peter, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, through manifold trials and testings. Kaya sabi niya, that the trial of your faith being much more precious than of gold that perisheth. Though it be tried in fire, but be found unto praise and honor and glory without appearing for Lord Jesus Christ. So, at the end of it, nandun pa rin po yung provision ng Panginoon, yung providential ng Panginoon, at yan po ay mag-e-end to God's glory. Ano po sinasabi ng Biblia? Whether we live unto the Lord. Whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord. Tayo po ay pag-aaral ng Panginoon. Tayo po ay para sa Panginoon. Nabubuhay tayo para sa Panginoon. At namamatay tayo para sa Panginoon. Ano man pong gawin natin dito, bilang mga Kristiyano, tayo po ay sa Panginoon. Kaya nga po, lahat po nangyayari po sa atin dito ay may decree ang Panginoon. At yan po ay nangyayari because of God's purpose and will. You see? So, no matter how a Christian will escape from the direction of God, it will not happen. Kaya nga po, kahit anong gawin ni Jonah, mababalikin at papupuntahin pa rin po siya ng Nineveh. And it's a miracle that the disgorging of Jonah. So it would be a 3 days journey. But Jonah was disgorged in the seashore where it is now few kilometers away from Nineveh. At nagkaroon na lamang po siya ng 1 day journey going to Nineveh. Actually, mas pinabilis pa ka ng Panginoon yung kanyang journey. Yung nga lang, medyo kakaiba. Ayaw mo ng mas maayos na biyahe. Sige, bibigyan kita ng biyahe na hindi mo makakalimutan sa buong buhay mo. You see? Ano po nangyari kay Jonah? Chapter 1 is the record or the account where Jonah flee from God. And chapter 1 also is the account where Jonah was rerouted by God to go back to his original route going to Nineveh. So, no one can escape from the presence of the Lord. Kaya nga po yung sinasabi ni King David, whether I ascend into heaven or whether I make my bed into hell, behold, thou art there. Kasi yun ang kapangyarihan ng Panginoon. Yun ang attributes ng Panginoon. Mamaya mapag-aaralan po natin. So the calming of the sea, the disgorging of Jonah, yan po yan ay milagro. The preparing of the board, the preparing of the worm, and the vehement east wind, yan po yan ay niready ng Panginoon. And then of course, isa po dyan ay yung kung paano naligtas yung mga Ninevites. But I would like to clarify that the salvation referring to the Ninevites here is not soteriological. Hindi po sila pinili sa kaligtasan, kundi pinili lang po sila sa kaligtasan sa kapahabakan na maaaring maranasan nila dahil sa kanilang kasalanan, sa kanilang wickedness. Just like the Sodom and Gomorrah. Dahil sa galit ng Panginoon, we could have rain, fire, and brimstone dun sa Ninevites, dun sa Nineveh. But because they repented, so nagbago yung administration ng Panginoon doon sa kanyang wrath at napalitan ng awa. And then, actually, it did not last for long because eventually, sinira din naman ng Panginoon ng Nineveh. So the salvation that referring to here is not soteriological, but salvation from the wrath of God. Okay. And then, katulad po ng pag-aaralan po natin about the miracles, napakarami pong milagro ang nangyari. Actually, kung pag-uusapan natin ang milagro, napakarami pong milagro na nangyari o nakalista, naka-account sa Bible, how God used the nature to manifest miracles, to manifest His power. Isa nga po dyan yung kasi sabi ni Pastor, and it is true, that miracles is the intrusion of the law of nature. Ito ang law of nature, pero nababago yan dahil nagkaroon ng milagro. Nababago yan dahil sa milagro na ginawa ng Panginoon. So, it happened during the time of Prophet Balaam, that a donkey spake. Nagsanta po yung donkey. Hindi man lang nagulat si Balaam at nakipag-usap pa siya. Diba? Nakipag-usap pa siya. And then, the hornet was used by God to evict or to drive away the inhabitants of Canaan. Ginamit po yan ng Panginoon, yung mga hornets. These are beasts that have sting. And then, doon sa celebration ni Deborah and Barak, they mentioned about how the stars of God, how the stars in their courses fought against Sisera. And then, magbasa din natin how God made animals to increase in favor of Jacob, in relation to his father-in-law, Laban, na pinaboran ng Panginoon si Jacob by having a more speckled and straight ring-string goat and brown sheep, para paboran si Jacob. So, these are the miracles that God showed in relation to the nature. So, all nature will join in praises to our Lord Jesus Christ when it pleases Him. Ganon din na yung fish na nakatulong Panginoon Kristo. Di ba? Kung sabi ni ating Panginoon Kristo na, sige, pamingwit ka, Peter, at yung isda mismo ay siyang pumunta doon sa hook, at yung fish na yun ay merong pera na binayad nila para doon sa tribute, no? Kay Caesar, o yung sa tax. You see? So, ginagamit ng Panginoon talaga ang nature to show miracles. And then, how the cock crow to remind Peter about his profanity and about his broken vow to our Lord Jesus Christ. See? So, yun po yung nangyari. Now, let's go back to Nineveh. Actually, this is pronounced Nineveh. It is pronounced Nineveh, not Nineveh. Ito po ay kapital ng Assyria, with a population of 600,000 people. At ito pong Nineveh, ito po ay walled city. At ang wall po nito is 100 feet high. So could you just imagine kung ang isang bahay ay 10 feet, no? If this is a 100 feet high wall, it is almost 10-story. A 10-story building. And then, ang lapad po ng wall nito is 50 meters na pwede pong may mga chariots po dyan na dumadaan. It's a two-way. So, ganun po kalapad ito, ganun po kalaki yung kanilang wall. At meron silang 1,500 towers. Kaya nga po, isa yung Nineveh sa stronghold ng Babylon. Isa po yan sa stronghold nila na hindi basta-basta kayang gabiin ng kanilang mga kalaban. Kaya nga po, ang Nineveh is talagang it is very ancient actually. It is recorded as early as Genesis chapter 10 during the time of Nimrod. And it was built by Ashur. So ganun po ka-ancient yung Nineveh at ganun rin po siya katindi na when it comes to sin. Because they are very religious. The people there are very religious and they are very wicked. That they have this god called Nishra. That whenever they have this ceremony offering to their god, no? Ito po yung time na nag-o-offer po sila ng mga bata. Yung time na nag-iingay po sila ng gusto, no? At ino-offer nila yung mga bata para hindi na marinig yung iyak ng bata. Ito rin, sila rin po yung, they are also very cruel when it comes to the prisoners of war. Kaya nga po, hindi maaalis, no? Kay Jonah na magalit or hindi maalis sa kanya na suwayin yung utos ng Diyos na puntahan yung Nineveh sapagkat ang Nineveh ay isa po sa kanilang mga tormentors, isa po sa kanilang mga captors. Ang Israel po ay nag-under yan sa Nineveh at sila po ay nagkaroon rin po ng mga prisoners of war yan na kung saan pinapahirapan ng gusto. Kaya kung galit at galit lang, malaki ang galit ni Jonah sa kanila, sa mga Syrians. Kung galit at galit rin lang po ang pag-uusapan, ayaw ni Jonah na maligtas sila eh. Ayaw niya po mangyari yan eh. Meron siyang prejudice sa mga Ninevites eh. Meron siyang prejudice eh. Kaya nga hindi niya sinunod ang Panginoon eh. Dahil ang gusto ni Jonah, mapahamak sila. Ang gusto ni Jonah, sirain ng Panginoon, wasakin ng Panginoon yung kanilang siya. Pero, siyempre, para ma-display na may pakita yung mercy ng Panginoon, no? Ay nag-repent po sila. See? So, yan po yung Nineveh. They were surrounded by large walls, 100 feet high, that 3 chariots could drive abreast of them. They are defended by 1,500 towers. They are very exceedingly evil, and they are violent, and they are cruel. Kaya ganun lamang po yung galit ni Jonah sa kanila. Pero siyempre, when you are given instructions by God, then, if you disobey, you have the consequences. You must face the consequences. Kaya nga, wala pong nagawa si Jonah. Later on, in chapter 2, no? Chapter 2, yan ang po yung account wherein Jonah prayed to God. And God answered his prayer. And then, in chapter 3, this is account where Jonah was told that he was given a second chance, a second opportunity to follow God. See? So, tayo pa rin po ay mapalad. Tayo pa rin po ay bilang mga Kristiyano, tayo pa rin po ay mapalad na binibigyan po pa rin po tayo ng mga pagkakataon. Although tayo po ay hindi mga masunurin mga Kristiyano. Mga suwain po tayo. At hindi lang minsan na nagiging suwain po tayo. Pero, God is always a God of a second chance. So, yan po yung dapat ating pasalamatan sa Panginoon. Nabigyan ng pangalawang pagkakataon si Jonah. And this time, sabi niya, hindi ko na susubayan ang Panginoon. Kaya this time, the second opportunity that God has given to Jonah, he went to Nineveh and preached. And even the king was converted. And even the king repented. And he made a decree. He made a decree that including their cattle could not eat. Kasi under fasting po sila. And then God heard their prayer. And the wrath of God turned away from Nineveh. See? So, following God's direction. Meron pa akong 20 minutes para mapusin ko ito. Why we need God's direction? Okay. Meron po tayong tatlong question na sasagutin this afternoon. First is, why we need God's direction? The second is, what God direct to us? And the third question is, why we follow God's direction? So, unang question is, why we need God's direction? Bakit kailangan po ba natin ang direction ng Panginoon? Ba't hindi po ba tayo pwedeng mabuhay na walang direction ng Panginoon? Hindi po ba tayo pwedeng lumakad sa araw-araw ng ating buhay na walang direksyon ng Panginoon? Bilang isang Kristiyano, ay kinakailangan po natin ang direksyon ng Panginoon. Why? Jeremiah 10:23. Kasi kung tao lang po ang susunod, wala naman pong tao na gusto may nag-direct sa kanya. Naturally, ang tao po gusto niya, sarili niya yung nasusunod. Naturally, ang tao po gusto niya, wala po nakikialam sa kanya. Pero sabi po ni Jeremiah, in chapter 10, verse 23, O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. You see, kahit na po, anong gawin ng tao? No? Tatandaan po natin na tayo po ay creature. We are just creature of God. Creature of God. Na yan po ay isang katotohanan na bilang mga nilalang ng Diyos ay mayroon pong magmay-direct po sa atin. And then sinasabi po ni Jeremiah, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. It is not us, but God who will direct us, who will direct our steps. Jonah, as the prophet of God, needs direction. Alam mo pong gawin ni Jonah, alam mo pong pag-iwas si Jonah, alam mo pong pagsuway niya, ay darating pa rin po siya doon sa punto kung saan siya dinidirect ng Panginoon. And the direction of God to Jonah is to go to Nineveh. And the very sad thing is, because of his disobedience, other people suffer. Yung pinangyayari sa atin minsan dahil po sa ating pagiging disobedient, dahil po sa ating pagiging suwain, hindi lamang po tayo nagsasuffer, kundi nagsasuffer din po yung mga tao sa paligid po natin. Nagsasuffer din po yung mga mahal natin sa buhay. You see? Nagsasuffer po yan. Diyan po sa ating pagiging suwain. Kaya nga po, ang ginagawa po ng Diyos, dinidirect po tayo sa tamang daan. Hindi po sa dating daan. Kaya nga po tayo, nasa tamang daan tayo. You see? Nasa tamang daan po tayo. Alam po sinasabi ni King David, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. You see? Lahat po yung ina-order ng Panginoon. Lahat po ng ginagawa natin, yan po ay according to the order of God. See? The reason why we need God's direction. Napakaganda po isipin na ang isang Kristiyano, ang isang tao, isang lingkod ng Diyos ay lumalakad tayo sa kalooban ng Panginoon. Kaya nga po, may record sa Bible that Enoch walked with God. The reason why Enoch did not experience death, physical death, because God took him. Enoch was raptured by God. Generally po, we can read how God put a purpose in the heart of Daniel, that Daniel purpose in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion, with the king, with the portions meat that the king ate, right? Or nor with the wine which he drank, So, we need God's direction. Kasi yung tao lamang po ang susundin po natin, hindi naman po niya kaya i-direct ang isang. Kaya nga po, nagkakaroon ng waywarding ng isang Kristiyano. And then, second, what God direct to us? Ano po dinadirect sa atin pa ngayon? First, God direct our steps. God will direct our actions, our plans, our ways. Yung dinadirect sa atin ng Panginoon. Kaya nga po sa atin bilang mga Kristiyano, no? Hindi po tayo naniniwala sa kanta ni Tom Jones po ba yan? My Way. Sino kumanta ng My Way? Frank Sinatra. Kasi hindi ka naman kaidaran yan eh. Kaidaran pala ni Brother Rich, kaya alam eh. You see? Hindi po tayo naniniwala sa My Way. Because my way is God's disobedience to God. My disobedience to God. Bakit nakukuha ng salitang my way? Because it is the rebellious way of man to disobey God. Hindi pagsunod sa Panginoon. Kaya lagi tayo God's way. God's will. God's purpose. No? Kaya yun po sa atin na laging sinusunod natin. Yun po laging nasa puso natin. How to do the will of God. Because that is what we were created for. To be conformed to the image of God. To do the will of God. To give glory to God. See? So, God will direct our steps. Will direct our faith. And our steps must be according to the will of God. And it must be according to the requirements of God. Israel, what does God require of thee? Hebrews 10:12. To walk in all His ways. To fear the Lord thy God. To walk in all His ways. To love God. To serve Him. See, yun po dapat ang steps natin. Yun po dapat ang direction natin. To love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. To fear the Lord thy God. When we say fear, it is a reverential fear. Fear of committing sin. Fear of ma-offend natin ang Diyos. As God's people, I believe that God wants the best for us. Tingnan po natin yung buhay ni Joseph. Kung tutusin, kung ating pag-aaralan ba buhay ni Joseph, parang hindi maganda yung direction at tinuturo niya. Yan, yung direction ng kanyang buhay. Binenta siya, kinaingitan siya ng kanyang mga kapatid, binenta siya, naging slave siya. Yeah? And then nagsikap siya, nag-gain niya yung favor ni Potiphar, pero ano pa rin po nangyari? No? Ang ginawa po is, inakit siya ni Potiphar's wife at ginawa siya ng kwento nung hindi niya pinatulan hanggang sa nakulong na naman siya. Kasi, kung titignan po natin, yung direction ng buhay ni Joseph, hindi maganda yung tinatahan. Pero later on, nakita natin kung gaano kaganda yung plano ng Panginoon. Kung gaano nakita natin niya yung wisdom doon sa lahat na nangyari kay Joseph, na lahat ng ito ay ginawa ng Panginoon dahil ang nais ng Panginoon ma-preserve ang lahi ng Israel. Diba? Ito ang nangyari later on. Naging prime minister si Joseph. At dahil siya naging prime minister, na makapangyarihan niya na ang kanyang buong angkan kinuha niya sa Canaanite at dinala niya sa Egypt. At doon, nagkaroon ng matinding tagutong na-preserve ang kanyang angkan, na-preserve ang Israel. So, titignan pa rin po natin sa end result. Ngayon po, meron tayong mga pinagdadaanan. Meron tayong nararanasan ngayon. Paano po natin titignan niya? Titignan pa rin po natin kung ano yung kalooban ng Panginoon. Titignan pa rin po natin yan doon sa punto na iisipin natin na kaya nangyayari ito dahil merong gustong aral na ibigay ang Panginoon sa atin. At later on, hindi man po ngayon, makikita po natin yung wisdom doon sa nangyayari sa ating Panginoon. Bakit po ito nangyayari sa ating Iglesia? Kasi baka purpose ang Panginoon para salahin kung sino yung karapat-dapat sa ating Iglesia. Baka purpose ang Panginoon para pagtibayin pa kung sino yung mga naririto. Baka purpose ang Panginoon ma-involve, no? Ma-involve yung mga dating hindi na-involve. Kasi, nabawasan yung mga dapat ma-involve. Mabigyan ng opportunity yung iba naman na tumayo, magkaroon ng responsibility at magamit sa gawain ng Panginoon. So, doon po natin titignan yan. Doon po natin titignan yung mga bagay na yan. So, what God directs to us? God directs our step. But, if we do not want God to direct our steps, then go ahead. Make your own road. Make your own way. But I will guarantee you that the end result of that is always destruction. It's always destruction. It's always peril. You will surely perish, just like what happened to John. Just like what happened to John. Minsan, ang gusto po kasi ng tao, yung kanyang pamamaraan, yung kanyang sarili. Ano po nangyari sa prodigal son? Sabi niya po sa kanyang ama, Father, give me the portion that falleth to me. Ano pong ginawa ng ama? Pinabigyan. And he divided to them his middle. Not memories. And then, ang ginawa ng anak, nagpakalayo-layo. And then, he wasted his substance with riotous living. Yan ang gusto niya eh. Di ba? Yun ang pamamaraan niya eh. Ayaw niyang magpa-direct, magpa-under, mag-submit doon sa kanyang ama. So, he went out of the authority of his father and make a living out of himself and then wasted his substance with riotous living. And then not many Sundays after, he began to be in one. And that in one, the third in one, speak not only of physical needs or the in want of food, pero mas tinitignan ko po yan doon sa pagiging in want niya doon sa salita ng Panginoon, sa pangangaral ng kanyang ama. Kasi tatandaan po natin na sinabi ni Amos, the days come when I will send a famine, not famine of bread, nor thirst of water, but famine of the word of God. Yung mga umaalis po rito, yung mga lumalayo po rito, nakakaramdam po yan ng pangangailangan niya. Nakakaramdam po yan ng gutom. Hindi ng gutom ng pagkain, kundi gutom sa pakikinig ng salita ng Panginoon. Gutom sa pag-aaral ng salita ng Panginoon. Gutom sa pangangaral ng salita. Yan po. Huwag na po sana tayo dumating sa punto na darating sa buhay natin yung ganung pagkakataon. Dahil pag dumating na tayo sa punto na yun, ibig sabihin, nandun na po tayo doon sa lowest level ng ating buhay. Kasi, so, God's direction is through the Word of God. If we do not want to listen and to be directed by the Word of God, then there will be famine. Famine by the Word of God. Kaya nga po, sinasabi ni King Solomon, in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path. So, God will direct our steps. God will direct our work. God will direct our work in truth. God will direct our works to our Lord Jesus Christ. And if God will direct our work, then we will never go wrong as Christians. Because God is directing us to the truth. No? And then, lastly, God will direct our hearts. And our hearts. Our thoughts and our hearts. Bakit kailangan i-direct ng Panginoon natin mga puso? Kasi po, according to Jeremiah, our heart is deceitful. Jeremiah 7:9. Makibasa nyo na lang po yan. Our heart is deceitful. Kung susundin lamang po natin ating mga puso, matadaya po tayo. Yeah? Matadaya po tayo kasi ang ating po mga puso bilang mga tao, bilang mga finite being, is deceitful. Mapanlinlang, madaya. Kaya po, hindi po ako naniniwala doon sa mga pinapayo lagi, no, ng mga unbeliever, pag nagbigay ng payan, basta sundin mo lang ang puso mo. Hindi ka maliligaw, basta susundin mo ang puso mo. Kaya nga siya naligaw kasi sinunod niya pa yung puso. Diba? Sino yung mga naliligaw? Sino yung mga nagkakamali? Yung sinusunod ang puso kaysa dun sa kalooban ng Panginoon. Anong papayo ng mga tao? Kung saan ka masaya, supportahan ka. sa pagiging banding ay ang lumitaw na nagdagdag. Dating Rostom Padilla naging bibigan na ako. Dating Charis Pepenko naging James Cyrus. Kasi yan po yung mga pangaral na hindi pinag-iisipan at hindi hango sa Biblia. Kung mga pangaral po yung hango sa Biblia, ang lagi pong, siyempre, ang lagi pong papasok sa isip ng isang Kristiyano ay kung paano siya makapagbigay glory sa Panginoon. Kasi sinasabi ng Biblia, whether we eat or drink or whatsoever you do all for the glory of God. So the ultimate purpose of our existence is not to be happy. It's not to be happy. The ultimate purpose of our existence is not to accumulate the highest amount of wealth. It is not to be happy. It is not accumulate to be the highest amount of wealth. It is not to be successful. Ano po yung sinabi ng Apostle Paul? Ano po sinabi ng Apostle Paul? For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Yun pa rin po eh. Keeping our faith. Hindi niya naman sinabi doon na I am successful. So it is not to accumulate the highest amount of wealth. It is not to be happy, but to glorify God. Sometimes people will tend to always look for riches. Sometimes people will always see the gift, but never appreciate the giver. We always acknowledge the gift, but we forget about the giver because the heart is deceitful. Kaya nga po, the requirements of God is to love Him. To love Him. And the contents of our heart, the throbbing of our heart should be our love for God, to serve the Lord. Ayun po dapat ang tunay na nilalaman ng puso ng bawat isa. Dapat po, ang tunay dapat po na nilalaman ng puso ng Kristiyano ay ang paglilingkod sa Diyos at ang pagbibigay papuri sa Diyos. Sadly, the thoughts and the heart of Jonah was centered on his prejudice to the Ninevites. The reason why God directed him back to the original plan of going to Nineveh. Trivia ko po, hindi ko kaya tapusin. Siguro itutuloy ko na lamang po pag nabigyan ako ng opportunity to preach. So, nasagot ko natin yung dalawang question. Why we need God direction? And then second, what God direct to us? And the third question would be, why follow God's direction? Okay? So give me 3 minutes para tapusin ko ito. Why follow God's direction? 3 reasons why follow God's direction. Because God called us into obedience and service. It is God who called. Ang Diyos po mismo yung nag-uutos. Kaya kailangan po natin siyang sundin. Kung yung tao nga po, pag nag-inutusan tayo, sinusunod natin eh. Tama? Kung yung ama nga po natin eh, magulang natin, pag inutusan tayo, pag nagbigay ng direction sa atin, sinusunod natin eh. Kung nandito ang Creator. Ang King of Kings and Lord of Lords na buutos, na bibigyan ng direction. Bakit hindi po natin susunod? Who are we not to follow God's direction? Sino po ba tayo? He is a great God. He is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the God of gods. And then, secondly, because of the need of the people. Why follow God's direction? Because of the need of the people.
May pangangailangan po yung mga tao eh.
At tandaan po natin na ang ating service sa Panginoon ay twofold. Praise and worship, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, Hebrews 10:25. And then our number 2, our other service to God is proclaiming the gospel, sharing the gospel, preaching the gospel. At madalas doon po tayo nag-fail. So, nagagawa po natin yung isa na hindi po natin magagawa yung isa. The reason we are guilty. Okay. We need to follow God's direction because of the need of the people. May pangailangan po yung mga tao. The same thing, na yung tayo na kailangan, merong isang tao na nagsakripisyo at gumawa ng kanyang obligasyon sa Panginoon. Kaya tayo naturuan. Kaya tayo nagkaroon ng kaalaman sa kaligtasan. Kaya tayo narito ngayon. Tama? Kaya na, kung si Apostle Paul ang tatanungin, sabi niya, I am debtor both to the Greek and to the barbarians. Both to the wise and to the unwise. See? Meron kasi ito po tayong pagkakautang na dapat nating bayaran. At yung pagkakautang na yun na dapat nating bayaran, it's the same thing, yung pagpapahayag ng salita ng Panginoon. Dahil one time sa ating buhay, merong magpahayag ng salita ng Panginoon, kaya tayo nakarating sa kaalaman ng kaligtasan. At yun yung pinagdadamot natin sa ibang mga tao. At yun yung hindi natin binibigay sa ibang mga tao. Kaya kinakailangan nating sundin ang direksyon ng Panginoon dahil merong mga tao na nangangailangan ng direksyon. Because of the need of the people. And then lastly, why follow God's direction? Because of the mercy of God extended. In-extend na po ng Panginoon kanyang mercy. Kaya samantalahin na po natin. Ano po ba yung mga hindrances to obedience? Personal prejudice. Just like what Jonah has. Personal pride and personal rebellion. I just hope meron po tayong aral na tutunan this afternoon about following God's direction. Okay, tayo po'y tumayo, tayo po'y manalangin. And may I request Brother Ben to lead us in the prayer. Please.
Let's pray. Mas salamat po Diyos sa aming pong pag-aaralan sa aming po Diyos. Panginoon, salamat po sa paalala sa amin. Lord, ang personal privileges, Panginoon, at sa mga namin lugar. At tingnan po namin po, Ama, at aming masarili, aming kandak. Tawarin po kami, O Diyos, sa aming pong isip, mga kaisipan na hindi nakakalugod sa iyo po, Ama. Nangyari po sa amin, mga po Diyos ay direct ng kami, O Lord, na maging tama ang aming pagwangin at hindi masira po Diyos sa aming iglesia. po Diyos na manatiling matatag ang Iglesia nito, Lord. Patuloy po kami pray in unity at maglingkod sa iyo po, Ama.